What is up, chefs, foodies, and students? Welcome to Everybody Knows. I'm Anders. I'm so glad you're here. Let's get started. Today we are talking about the ingredient fennel seed. Fennel seed originally comes from Southern Europe or modern-day Turkey. It is currently well known in cuisines from all over the world, but if you're investigating origins and cultures, be sure to research the time period as well, since many foods are brought to cultures from elsewhere or developed over time. Looking at this ingredient, today we actually have a little bit of a treat because we have the dried version that you would find in the store, and we also have a fresh version that has not yet fully matured. And so starting with the version that you'll find in the store, what we expect to see are whole fennel seeds, maybe a little bit of stem on them. They're gonna be a very, very pale green, if any, otherwise a light brown, and we should see some stripes. We shouldn't see any kind of mold or off coloring or dirt or pebbles or anything. And then on the fresh version, we should see sort of the same kind of thing, except it's plump and it's green, and it still maybe has a little bit of the flower on the end of it. This is not the same as fennel pollen. That is actually pollen that is sort of shaken off a fennel flower, and that's a different product. And so it will have the same sort of aroma in general because it's still from the same plant. However, this is the actual seed. Okay, if we're talking about aroma for this particular seed, I'll give it a little bit of a crunch in my fingers. Yeah, just solid fennel. This comes from the sort of flavor category of anise or anise, and the compound that we're smelling right now is anethol, and that compound is just, that's what you're getting. This will be different from a licorice. This has sort of a greener, more herbaceous kind of note to it, especially as we get to the fresh version. So trying to smell the difference here. Smelling the fresh version, it's very similar. I don't know that there is a huge difference, honestly. It's still got that like huge dose of anethol. Really strong. A nice touch of sort of herbaceousness, herbiness, but really that's what it is. It's just like straight anise flavor. I do think it's worth doing a taste test because one of the biggest differences here is going to be texture. That these seeds are so fresh and immature that you can chew them kind of like a cooked grain. It's very tender. That packs such a punch. Holy cow. That anethol compound also sort of mimics sweetness in this very strange but pleasant way. And you can detect this also in a dried seed as well. It's just, I think it has all of the vehicles of the moisture from that to just sort of travel right through your mouth. The dry one should also have it, but it might take a little bit longer to sort of awaken. Yeah, the dry one's there. It just takes a little bit longer to activate. It's maybe a little bit more muted. So if you can get your hands on some fresh fennel seed, it might be worth it. Quite the pop. I'd also recommend growing this because it's a perennial and it just gives year after year, and it's beautiful fresh fennel. That would be perfect for a kitchen garden, so write that down. Let's take a quick look at where this is on our universal aroma wheel. All right, here we are looking at the wheel. We are actually going to be looking in the realm of spicy. And again, we have this sort of bow tie of like herbs and spices that are not near each other, but one could argue that this could go into either category. I think normally because it is used in a dry capacity, it sort of falls towards the spicy side of that bow tie, but otherwise the fresh version I could definitely see being in the herbaceous and or the herb categories. And so let's take a quick look a little bit closer. Within spicy, we have an anisey or anise category, and within that we see the different spices that sort of have that characteristic, and fennel is right in there with it. And so fennel in general written that way, but specific to fennel seed, because you could get fennel bulb, and I actually wonder if that's on the wheel too. So not really too much extra to look out for, other than if you buy it pre-ground, you don't have that guarantee of exactly what it is, so I would buy it in whole seed form, and then you can do as you like. It's also a little easier to toast in its whole form, which I think just brings out a lot more of that awesome flavor, and you get into the toastiness and the nuttiness and yum. I think this goes really well in a whole variety of things. I mean, pickles, types of bread, other baked goods. We've been flavoring some kombucha with it lately. It has this really strong flavor to it, and so just use it sparingly. You can always add more. It's harder to take it out, so yeah. Let's see what the flavor Bible has to say. Okay, so looking at fennel seeds, we see that it pairs well with a variety of baked goods, green beans, cabbage, eggplant, a variety of other spices, fennel itself, a variety of vegetables. I see some citrus in there, lemon, orange, paprika, parsley, parsnips, black pepper, pickling, potatoes, potato salads, sauces, soups, and tomatoes and tomato sauce. And that about wraps it up. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about this ingredient as you're cooking or as you're eating, as well as the words that we use to describe it. So spicy and anisey. Have you used this ingredient successfully, or in a way that you think, yeah, that was so good, or it like totally showcased this ingredient? What was it? I want to know. And do you like this aroma? Why or why not? And do you agree or disagree with what I've shared with you today? Please let me know any of the answers to those questions down in the comments. I love to read them. I hope this video made sense and got you thinking about fennel seed as an ingredient. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to help me get an ingredient to feature in a video, please send me an email or private message. And if you would like to join the Food Aroma Nerdery, go ahead and subscribe and you'll see all my latest videos. And if you would like either a paper poster or digital version of the Aroma Wheel that I've built, go ahead and look in the description for links. Thanks so much. Bye.